Okay, so let's see if we can understand. Peter has 3 and Penelope has 2. So we already did the case with 2, right? So why don't we set up those?
I'll start to set up Peter's.
Well, hold on. We'll do it all together. So this was the case for 2 coins, and these were all equally likely 25%, right?
Yeah. So let's see. Well, Peter could get 3 heads. Peter, well, what are the cases that Peter gets 2 heads? There's this case. This case. And then the case at the end. Like that.
Yeah, we may need to jam these a little closer together.
Yeah. Probably.
Sorry about that. To fit them all in.
So now, then we set 2 tails. We might have to bring the tail over here.
Okay.
So then there's the case where 2 tails and a head. And a tail, a head, and a tail. And then head, tail, tail. This. And then there's the case where... Then there's the case where all 3 tails.
Okay, well, good. We've got to fit it in. Now, what about these cases?
Well, we
What
have
can
to
you tell
figure
me
out
about?
what's... They're all equally likely.
All right. So how many are there?
There's 8 of them.
Okay.
Which means, well, that's 25 divided by 2, which is, like we determined last time, it's 12.5.
Okay. 12.5 each, or 1/8 each. That's good. I won't write that in. But we'll just have to remember that those are all 1/8 each.
And these are all 1/4.
Yeah, now what do you think it's going to be easier to do? To look at the Peter cases or look at the Penelope cases?
The Penelope cases.
Okay, how come?
Well, there's less of them, and they've got fewer outcomes.
Yeah. So why don't we call this 1/8 over here? And we'll call this 1/4. That way we'll save ourselves having to figure out the percentages.
Alright.
Okay. Now let's just see what happens. Alright.
Well, let's look at this case. Well, if she can...
She flips 2 heads.
Well,
how often does she win?
Well, she wins every case but this case. Because she ties or wins. Yeah.
Alright.
She either ties or wins.
Okay.
So that means it's 7/8 of the time.
Okay.
7/8 times 1/4.
Alright, and what does that equal?
7/32.
7 over 37. 7 over 32 for this case. Okay. Alright. What about this case where she rolls this 1 head on the second turn?
Well, I think she can win up to here. Yeah, up to those.
Alright.
That's 4. Well, that's 4/8. That's half of the time.
Alright.
So that's 4/8 of the time, and then times 1/4. That's 30 seconds.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
so
I think we should keep it in 30 seconds because it may add up.
Alright, so 7/30 seconds of the time for the first one, 4:30 seconds.
Same thing for this one. And then that would be
4:30 seconds. Okay.
And then for this one, she only wins she only wins 1/32. And she only wins the time Peter rolls that.
Okay. So it's interesting. She can still win even if she rolls 2 tails or flips 2 tails.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the chances?
So let's see. Well, we can hook these together. That's 8. 7 plus 1. That's 8/32. Then plus 8/32. That's 16/32, which is a half.
Hey.
50% of the time.
Hey.
Interesting. So maybe there's a recurring pattern here.
Looks interesting. By the way, there's one other case. There's one other really simple case that we ignored. We did 2 and 1. We did 3 and 2. But there was another. There's also
1
really,
and 0.
1 and 0. Sometimes it's actually really good to go to the ridiculously simple cases.
Well, yeah, because if Peter flips a tail, he ties with Penelope.
Why?
For 0 heads.
For 0 heads, because she has no coins, so she can't flip any heads, right?
And if Peter gets a head, he wins, so 1/2.
Ah, so for the simplest of all simple cases,
It's still
it's
true.
a half. For the next case, 2 and 1, it's a half. For 3 and 2, it's a half.
So it seems to be a half.
It seems to be a half. This seems to be a fair game. Now let's see if we can, in the last one, figure out what's going on. Figure out another way to think about the 10 and 9 case.
Because we're not going to be able to count them all up.
We're not going to be able to count them all up. So let's see if we can figure something out.
Okay.